My people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to What's Up FC. We are within. Shout out for tuning in, guys. Shall we break down tactics today? We shall. Game week 3 concluded. We wait for game week 4. One prayer. Let not any players get injured during this international break. It's the worst of the worst. Even those that had minor injuries before the break, may they return after the break. You get me? Rehabilitation period. Let's break it down, guys. We had Fulham versus Man United. First game we'll reference, and we're going to speak on tactics in the league. So we'll use certain teams as reference, but how the league is changing. Because let's be honest, guys, managers analyze managers to exploit managers. They exploit one another through weaknesses they learn by watching games. How many times have you heard a manager say, we watch their games back? Some managers watch games more than once. You get me? Obsessive stuff, but necessary for tactical approach. So Fulham versus Man United is our first game, and Silva didn't hold back. Marco Silva, that is. He didn't hold back. He knew that Man United deploy a midfield two, in Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, and he tried to tackle that by having three midfielders in there, pressing them, overloading the midfield, and then trying to get the ball forward. So they know, or he actually said they knew Man United try to press high through their wing backs. The back three will remain compact of sorts, and then everyone else will move forward of sorts, even the midfielders in the right moments. But having 3 versus 2 in that midfield is what Marco Silva knew they could exploit throughout the game. And it was a tricky game for Man United overall. The goal they scored was an own goal, and they still couldn't win the game, unfortunately. So that's one thing. And Man United need to be wary that teams are aware of this. It's not even a major secret, really. Amorim Ball has that front five in moments, has that back five in other moments. But also, when the wingbacks move forward, what happens? It gives wingers space. So in terms of Fulham's back five, they allowed Sessegnon to move forward in the right moments beyond Diallo. On the other side, I think it was Castagne, who was playing at right back, was it Tete, could also move forward in the right moments. If he was beyond Dogu, even better. It increases numbers for Fulham's attack. So in the wing positions, the width of the pitch, a lot of teams are using that this season. We move on, guys. Another game that we can reference of sorts, 2 games actually, but we'll use Spurs versus Man City. We could also use Brighton versus Man City, but Man City being the focus. This season, Man City are trying to deploy something different. It's a very heavy high press, and it's along the flank. So the wing backs of sorts are moving forward, trying to create an offside trap. So how did Spurs exploit it? Not so difficult, really. So Mohamed Kudus would drop deep, get closer to Porro. And then from there, if City's fullback falls asleep of sorts, 2 players can be beyond him in a flash. You get me? So Porro has that vision. He has that sense of pass into the mid, along the flank. But mostly, he was going just along the flank to try and find Kudus. Kudus has good hold-up play. And then they open up City on the wide side of the pitch. A defender will be drawn in if the fullback or the wingback loses his player, and then there's an overload in terms of the attack for Spurs. Then they can cause issues. And that high line, we saw Richarlison exploited, running beyond it, cut back. Brennan Johnson is there to finish. Moments like that, very similar to what happened against Brighton for that second goal. City are trying to press high. It's a high press, high line, trying to create an offside trap. But if Brighton just move the ball rapidly, City are in danger. And that's what happened, guys. So there's that high press. A lot of teams are doing the high press system. So that's Man City. We can speak on Bournemouth and how they beat Spurs. So Bournemouth saw what Spurs did, trying to get the ball to Kudus. Kudus is so effective in that hold-up play, turning a man of sorts, getting the ball into the midfield to move the team forward. So Bournemouth ensured that Spurs can't play to Kudus. They overloaded. So they made sure that Spurs are playing on the other side to Brennan Johnson, because they know Brennan Johnson can't execute what Kudus executes. And they did that at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium by exploiting Brennan Johnson and then ensuring that they got their chance, they took their chance, and the game ended 1-0. So Spurs are playing more of a 4-2-4 system right now. You could count Sa, or is it Malang Sa, Pape Matassa. What? So many SARs, guys. Matassa is part of the front line. In the midfield, you have Betancourt. Alongside who? How am I forgetting this? Oh, Palinia, new signing, Palinia. So those are the midfield two, and then one player will move forward, join the attack. Richarlison alongside Matassa in that 4-2-4. So Bournemouth just said, hey, we're going to play a 4-2-1-3 or 4-3-1-2 of sorts. We won't have an extra man in defense, which they didn't have, but we have enough for the transition. And Bournemouth was so good defensively, Spurs couldn't open them up. And every time they pressed more on Brennan Johnson's side, on the left side. Kudus didn't really see much, which is good. So teams will exploit where you're stronger, especially in the flanks, as we've said. On the wide parts of the pitch, it's going to be deep. It's going to get hectic as the season goes on. And let's see how the tactical approach to this changes as the season goes on. Another one that we can use as an example, I wanted to speak a bit on Jack Grealish and how he's effective. He's playing the Man City way at Everton, but it's effective. He's not playing as the Villa Grealish, which is funny. And this is what BBC also reported. What can we mention? Last but not least, I'd like to mention corners. And fortunately for me, I can use Chelsea as this example. We saw Joao Pedro exploit this. This is sort of what Arsenal were doing last season. Sort of what Arsenal still do. Bully the goalkeeper. Make him uncomfortable. Ensure he can't just come out and retrieve the ball. It creates space for teammates, and it increases your chances of scoring from the set piece. If the set piece is precise, on the money, as they say it, you're likely to score. So that's another thing. Corner kicks, set pieces in general, teams will exploit. So I think the two key points of this video will be flank play in the league, and corner kicks, set piece goals are going to be a major factor in this season. So there could be knock-ons from a set piece, and then a player just has a chance to shoot on goal. Also those moments. It's a scramble in the box, not everyone can make that decisive clearance. You could create a chance from that even if you don't get a direct header into the goal. So there's those things, slight changes to the league, but big changes regardless. Bully the goalkeeper, high press. But how do you exploit the high press? How do you get beyond the offside trap without being offside? Let's look out for that, guys. But I've enjoyed this. You get me? Actually needed to whip out a few more teams here, but your boy didn't do so. Who shall we whip out here? Who we going to talk? I wanted to talk a bit more, but I can't talk on Chelsea right now, can I? I've spoken enough. Shout out for tuning in, guys. Hope it's made sense. And be sure to join the fam if you're yet to do so. Blessings, my people.